Tintin has finally arrived. Producer Kathleen Kennedy has helped bring him alive to the big screen. Fair to say, Kathleen, this has been a labour of love for you and Stephen?
It has, yeah. I mean, I can't say that for 30 years we've been only working on Tintin, but from the time we were introduced to Tintin, which was in the early 80s, it was a result of the journalists who kept saying to us when we made Raiders of the Lost Ark, gee, was this inspired by Tintin? And we kept looking at each other saying, what's Tintin? So that was our initial foray into finding out what Tintin was, and we realized this was incredibly popular in Europe, and we finally had an opportunity to actually talk to Hergé on the phone. And Hergé gave a huge compliment to Stephen by saying that if he ever had someone bring Tintin to the screen, he would love it to be Stephen. So many years later, when Stephen finally realized with the new technology of performance capture and what Jim Cameron had done with Avatar, that maybe now was the time that he could try to translate these stories for the screen. So here we are. We've used that technology with the help of Weta and Peter Jackson, and we hope it works.
It looks incredible, Kathleen. Using motion capture must be something so special, so unique. What's the biggest challenge about using it?
Well, I think, you know, in the development stage, one of the criticisms has been in the eyes. And that was something that was really, really important to Stephen, that the technology had to have come to a point where we could get the eyes right. And it's funny because we were having this conversation the other day where I was reminded of when the first movie I ever produced for Stephen was E.T. And one of the things he said to me was, the eyes are everything. No one will believe E.T. unless you believe the eyes. And it's fascinating to think that many years later, in many ways, we're having exactly the same discussion, where we were physically making those eyes. Now we're doing almost exactly the same thing with artists in the computer, and the computer are making the eyes. But all the elements of what makes that believable and real are exactly the same.
A stellar cast as well, providing
cast.
Performances and voice, of course, for this.
Yeah, you know, it's really interesting when you cast a movie like this, because the actors, not only do you have to have actors, obviously, that can turn in a wonderful performance, but you also have to have actors that are extremely expressive in their faces, in their body language. We used to say that we had to feel that move through the technology. If someone's face, they may be acting really well, but if their face is not moving, then that doesn't translate into the animation. So that became a really crucial piece of criteria. And Andy Serkis is truly one of the brilliant geniuses in terms of his performance with Gollum in Peter's Lord of the Rings movie. He recently just did Planet of the Apes, and now he's doing Tintin. And then Jamie Bell, with all his dancing background from Billy Elliot, and really understanding what was required, and then hiring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, who are, you know, incredibly funny and comedic, and they too have a real understanding of what it is they do physically in their performance.
Kathleen, can we expect some stunning extras on the DVD and Blu-ray?
You certainly can expect stunning extras on the DVD and Blu-ray. I mean, I would say this is a movie where almost everything's happening behind the scene. So it may be that it's a lot longer than the actual movie.
And more Tintin films to come. Is that the plan, Kathleen?
Yeah, the plan is, Hergé wrote many, many great stories. So our feeling is we'd love to make several movies. We'll see.
Final question, Kathleen. What do you hope audiences get from this film?
I hope that they're incredibly entertained. I mean, there's a great sense of humor to these stories. It's a wonderful action adventure. It's made by Steven Spielberg and Peter Jackson. I think it should be tremendously entertaining.
Kathleen, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.